Hello and welcome to North Star Stamper. I'm Sue Kramer, and today we're going to be using the Stamparatus to help us emboss in 4 of these beautiful 6 colors. I haven't decided which colors we'll be using tonight, but you can help me decide. I'm going to give you a few minutes for people to join me. I just ran upstairs and I'm out of breath. I'm so out of shape. Okay, we'll get our comments going here. Maybe I'll give you a minute to join me. Hello. All right, we'll get started. Anybody coming today? I'm right on time. Anyway, let's get started. So we're going to be using the Stamparatus, and we will emboss first in one of our dye ink colors, and then we will stamp a second time using Versamark ink, and that will enable us to use clear embossing powder, and it'll look like we have embossed in the dye ink color. So I'm using colors and paper from the Birthday Bonanza suite. So here's where I got my colors. We have Terracotta Tile, Grapefruit Grove, Mango Melody, Daffodil Delight, Coastal Cabana, and Bermuda Bay. So those are the colors I have there. And I have a piece, there goes my catalog. I have a small piece of Designer Series paper, and it is 1.5 by 4 inches. And I chose that because it fits nicely on my 4 by 5.25 white cardstock that we're going to be stamping on and embossing, and then it'll give us a nice layer on our card. So this is where I got my colors from, and we're going to use as an accent balloons, but we'll decide at the end which side we want to use of our Designer Series paper. So we're going to be using the Happy Birthday to You stamp set. We're only going to be using the Happy Birthday greeting. So it is a red rubber stamp. And if you know, hello Anne, thank you for joining me. So our red rubber stamps have a cushion on there. So the Stamparatus comes with a cushion that we'll use. It's thin, but a nice firm foam. The black insert you use with photopolymer because they don't have that cushion the red rubber do. So we won't be using that. All right. Let's see. Oh, Anne says I didn't show up in notifications. Sorry, I'm glad you found me though. So I'm hoping other people will find us too. I did a sample card earlier, and maybe I'll just show you where we're headed with this. So this is my sample card I used earlier. The same greeting, Happy Birthday from the Happy Birthday to You, and just a piece of Designer Series paper. And can you see that the Happy Birthday, thank you for sharing, Ann. There, you can see that the Happy Birthday is embossed, but I used Granny Apple Green and Garden Green on those Happy Birthdays. I think for this one we will use 4 of these colors. So I always do a sample card, and I'm going to put the Happy Birthday as close to the top as I can because I ran out of room at the bottom there. So let's put this on our Stamparatus. These magnets are so strong. I'm going to put it at the very, very top. This is just a piece of paper to protect my surface, so it's just the Stamparatus and my cardstock that I'm holding down firmly. I'm going to put that up in the middle a little bit. And then I close this plate and pick up the stamp. All right, so which colors should we use today? Daffodil Delight, I like it. It's kind of light when you're using white cardstock. I like the mango, that's kind of fun. Let's use one of these 2. How about Terracotta Tile? That's a nice dark. And then we'll use these 4 colors for our sentiment. All right, so I think we'll start with the terracotta tile. Let's get into the frame here. Sorry, let's move this down so you can see a little better. I do like to put my stamp case under the plate so it's a little closer to flat. It's not exactly flat. I'm going to stand in the light here to block the, you can see I did get it on my plate there. Make sure you can see what I'm doing. And just press firmly. You don't have to push real hard. That's a pretty good image. And I am going to use my small piece of chamois. Oh, I thought through some of the words I was going to use today. All right, so I'm going to use the hinge step technique. So our plates come off, and I'm going to move it down one, and we're going to use our next color. Do you think we should alternate the oranges and yellow oranges, or mango, and the blues, or keep the mango next, and then the blue, the greens, and green blue at the bottom? Can't decide which order to put them in. Let's mix them up. Let's do Coastal Cabana next. So I moved it down one step of the hinge. All right, and I'm just gonna close the plate and make sure it's firmly. And if I didn't get a good image, I can always ink and stamp again. I'll do that just to show you that it's, those magnets are keeping the cardstock right in place. All right, I have to keep my wits about me and make sure I know what I'm doing here. So I need to clean that off, move it down one step, and we'll use Mango Melody next. Oh, sorry, did you want me to do mango after I did the terracotta? I didn't see your comment, sorry. I'm really liking this Mango Melody. I may have to play with it more tomorrow. Mango Melody. You know what, I'm gonna get rid of those comments. It is kind of a lighter color, so I'm going to ink it again. And I can do it right on top. It's kind of like a stamp positioner. I haven't moved anything. Close that one up. Clean off our stamp. I think, yeah. Clean off our stamp with our, you could just use a baby wipe or a wet paper towel. It doesn't really matter. And I'm going to hinge step. I'm going to lift it up, straight up and move it down one more hinge. And our last color, oh, is Bermuda Bay. I think it was supposed to be Coastal. I don't know. It'll work. I don't know that all those colors are in that piece of Designer Series paper I have. And let's see how we... It's off a little bit. I think I might be a little crooked on the cardstock too, but you get the idea. All right, so there's our 4 colors. We're going to clean this off really well. And I have a piece of paper towel here. All right, now we're going to go back and emboss those same images with the same stamp. We're not going to move the cardstock. We're not going to move the stamp. We're just going to emboss with clear embossing powder. So we use our Versamark. I am going to use my, oh, what's it called? Words aren't coming to me. I should have thought about it. Embossing Buddy. Make sure that's nice and clear there. All right, so Versamark. I can just, I left the plate where it was, so we're just going to work from the bottom up. So we're just going to emboss the happy birthday in Versamark over the top of the colored inks. So I'm going to step it back up once. Again, stamp in Versamark on the Mango Melody one. And I'm going to step it up one more notch. More Versamark. That's on top of the Coastal Cabana. Move it up one more final notch there. Ink with our Versamark. And right on top of our terracotta tile image. All right. Then Versamark stays wet long enough that that first one should be wet enough to have the embossing powder adhere to it. Actually, let me clean that up a little bit. Get that out of our way. We're done with the stamparatus. I just put it on the floor. You saw last week that I keep my embossing powder in just small containers. It's easier. Make sure you can see what I'm doing. This is clear, not white. It looks white, which is very helpful so you can see how much you've got there. One more and make sure I got it on everything. And put a little more. Get that out of the way. Don't want to blow that all over the basement. All right. And so, I don't know if you can tell. You can't really tell. I can tell that they're not as crisp and vibrant stamped images, that you can see the powder on there. So, I'm going to try to keep, I'm going to try to keep this in camera so you can see. I'm going to try to start with this birthday at the bottom. See if you can see it melt the powder. Where is it? There, the Y in birthday. I'm not sure if you can see it melting. You may just have to take my word for it. I'm going to go up to the previous one, now the Coastal Cabana birthday. It's kind of fun to watch the embossing powder melt. Give all of it one more quick over. Let's see, I don't know if, I'm hoping you can see. Can you see there? You can see they're shiny. So it looks like they're all embossed. Kind of a sneaky way. So you can have any color embossing if you using either the stamparatus or another stamp positioner, so that you stamp twice, once in your color and again in Versamark to get the clear powder on top of it. All right, so I have Daffodil Delight cardstock here that we'll use as our card base. Again, 8.5 by 5.5, just fold it in half. So let's show you where we are. You have to use a lot of adhesive. When I embossed it, did warp the paper a little bit. So do we want this side up? My idea was to put this up, and we're going to be using the same colors of cardstock. It's such a pretty array of colors. And we're going to use the balloon punch, which I got the idea from the Designer Series paper. So I want to start showing cards using Designer Series paper, but you don't necessarily have to have the coordinating stamp sets, because I don't have the stamps that coordinate with the with the Birthday Bonanza Designer Series paper. So I'm going to punch some balloons, and we'll decide which side of Designer Series paper we want to use. So I'm not stamping these at all. I'm just going to punch them. What do you think, Anne? Should we use the Grapefruit Grove, and I think that's terracotta tile, or the balloons? I'm thinking that side. Once we get these balloons punched out, I don't know that we're going to want And it is a different shaped balloon. The ones on the paper are round, and these are, I'll say, traditional balloon shaped. That's just the balloon duo punch, I think it's called. I think I like it without. Maybe what we'll do is we'll coordinate our colors with the stamp image and then put some extra. Although I did not grab Mango Melody. I grabbed that paper at the last minute. We'll make sure there's some yellow in there and some little ones. I think I like the little ones better. Let's see if you have any ideas there, Anne. I'll let you chime in while I rearrange. And I also grabbed some black twine, and I got that idea again from the paper. They used black as the strings on the balloons. I think I like that. We'll just layer them. All right, let's start adhering here. Just gonna use snail. Let's see what it looks like with, I don't like the balloons on top of that. Yeah, okay. So we will put, adhere this here. Do we want the black twine? I think that adds a lot. Let's wrap that around a couple times. Let me get that out of the way. I watch other people's videos and I notice it's like, oh, I need to make sure I keep the screen clear so you focus on what I'm doing and not all the mess on my table. I'm not going to try to tie a bow. We'll just tie a knot. It'll work. And we'll use some dimensionals on these balloons. And some scissors. Yes, Anne, I agree. The coordinating of our colors and having ink and paper and cardstock, all that coordinate, makes stamping so easy and so fun. All right. Did I just run out? I did just run out. I thought of that, so I have my whole basket of adhesive next to me. I'm going to use more snail in here than I normally do. Like I said, when I embossed the sentiments on there, the paper did warp a little bit. I've been known to put things upside down, so I make sure the opening's at the bottom. And put that on the bottom the right way. All right, and I have some dimensionals here, both big ones and little ones. I really want to pull that yellow out, so I'm going to use a large Daffodil Delight balloon. I'm going to put that under there. How's that? That works good. Here's a Bermuda Bay. Put that down next to that. All right. Who has a birthday coming up? I'm sure there's somebody. See, I can't do adhesive and talk at the same time. I've noticed that before. All right, one last one maybe. And we are done with our card. Thank you for joining me today. I really like the Stamparatus. There's a lot of other techniques we can do. I think maybe one more balloon. What do you think? I think maybe one more little one. I think we were super speedy today. I always tell my family, I'll let you know when I'm done videotaping so you can be noisy again. Come back on. Oh, there, that's better. Happy birthday. Thank you for joining me. And a little reminder that our 20, let's see, this is 20. So 2018, 2020 in colors are going to be retiring, and that includes this Grapefruit Grove, Blueberry Bushel, Call Me Clover, Lovely Lipstick, and Pineapple Punch are going to be retiring in June, and we almost always run out. Ink pads tend to go first, so if you like those colors, make sure you get those. Blueberry bushel is very close to my son's high school color, so I'm going to stock up on some of that for graduation cards coming up soon. So happy stamping. Thank you for joining me. And tomorrow I'm looking forward to second release of celebration items. So happy stamping. Thank you for joining me. Take care. Bye for now.